Hello again as we dive deeper into the first round duels here on the HomeBoiz channel. Today the history-changing 6th-signer Leo, the Dragon's Heart, will take a stand against Ghost, the Pawn of Iliaster. Leo will be taking a stand against the forces of the Mech Lord army just like he has once before, so let's see what cards he brings to the battle. The Morphtronic cards are a one-of-a-kind gimmick where monsters have different effects based on their battle positions, and some of their support revolves around changing their positions accordingly. This 48-card oddity of a deck comes stuffed with 7 equipped cards so that his ace, Power Tool Dragon, can randomly grab one for you, and the monsters have a series of mini combos that you hope to achieve. 2 Morphtronic Magnons in face-up defense mode can lock your opponent out of attacking any monster. Sculpin plus any other monster in hand make nearly any synchro that Leo has. And a face-up defense position Clock-In can win the duel if he manages to let it live 8 whole turns, which Morphtronic Bind can accomplish if it survives. The extra deck though can be game-changing if Leo pulls out one of his level 9s to establish control. His new Morphtronic support in the side deck actually allow him to toss out some of the niches for synchro consistency. Yugi brought toys to battle, and it worked wonders for him, so maybe Leo will see the same results. But for now, let's move on to Ghost's deck. Ghost plays an Ally of Justice deck, a deck that has even less of a focus than the Morphtronic archetype. It's a Dark Machine archetype that attempts to punish the enemy for playing light monsters, which couples with the continuous trap DNA transplant to change the attribute of all monsters on the field. The rest of the trap lineup is filled with cards that destroy your own monsters, as Ghost supposedly ran with Placido's Mech Lord deck. So those traps are to trigger the Mech Lord Emperor Weisel's special summon condition should he draw it. The side deck is composed entirely of the several clunky Mech Lord pieces for anime canonical purposes, since even I'm not cool enough to make him run this and Ally of Justice for a main deck. Even with the advantage of a Link monster at his side, it doesn't aid his strategy whatsoever. But it's an 1800 attack body, which is bigger than most of Leo's cards. If he can get out his level 5 Ally of Justice Cataster though, that could be a wrap for most opponents. There's only one way to find out how this will end. Ready, set, duel!
On paper, it's extremely difficult to tell exactly how strong these decks can be, so this is the perfect showcase of their potential for the deck that moves on to the next round. Leo, opening with no monsters, has to set 2 cards and pass his turn. Ghost, on the other hand, opens with plenty of monsters and the very useful card Tuner's High. By discarding one of the monsters in his hands, he can special summon a tuner with the same type and attribute, but 1 level higher than whatever he throws out of his hand. So since he's pitching out the level 2 machine monster, Ally of Justice Unlimiter, he gets to summon the level 3 machine monster, Ally of Justice Cyclone Creator. Now he can enable his synchro plays, but first, he'll use the Cyclone Creator's ability. By discarding a card in his hand, he gets to bounce back spells and traps equal to the number of tuners that's face up on his side of the field, so he gets rid of one of Leo's 2 lines of safety. That's not all though, because instead of going for a synchro play, he's going to be sacrificing the Cyclone Creator to tribute summon the Ally of Justice Clausolus with 2,300 attack points. Setting a card in his back row now, Ghost attacks directly, leaving Leo at a dangerous 5,700, considering he doesn't have a lot of resources to work with for himself. For Leo's turn, he sets another card face down and then normal summons Morphtronic Telephon in attack mode. Morphtronic Telephon is a level 1 tuner monster with the attack mode ability that during the main phase, he can roll a 6-sided die, gain 100 life points times the result that he rolls, and then special summon a Morphtronic from the graveyard with an equal or lower level than whatever number he gets. So Telephon is going to roll and land on a 6 so that he gets back 600 life points, bringing him up to 6,300. Now Leo's going to be activating the equipped spell Power Converter. Once per turn, he gets to gain life points equal to half of the attack of the monster it's equipped to by dropping its attack to 0 until the end phase. So he has gained a total of 650 life points here. I'm very curious why he went ahead and played that. Hopefully this next card will give us some answers. as Leo activates the Central Shield. If a monster other than whoever is equipped with the shield gets attacked, Leo takes no battle damage. In addition to this, it prevents the opponent from being able to attack directly whatsoever. We're going to see Central Shield be equipped to the Ally of Justice Clausolus. This way, when Clausolus is battling a monster, since it's Leo's monster who isn't equipped with the Central Shield, he won't be taking any damage. What a clever way in order to buy himself some more time. And during Ghost's turn, Leo will flip over the second card that he set down, the Morphtronic Bind Continuous Trap card, so that while he has a Morphtronic on his field, all level 4 or higher monsters on the opponent's side cannot attack or change their battle position, which locks out Ghost's deck for the most part. We're going to see him normal summon the level 1 Ally of Justice Tractor, however, and try to make a play happen here by using Tractor with the Clausolus to get it off the field for the Link summon of the Clayfort Genius, so that Central Shield is no longer protecting Leo. And Link monsters don't have levels, so the Genius can easily bypass the Morphtronic Bind, swinging into the Telephone, destroying it, and eliminating all of the life points that Leo was so fortunate to gain for himself, dropping him back down to 4650 before ending his turn. And Leo has absolutely no cards that he can play, so he has to take this next attack directly of 1800, now sitting at 2850, and still he bricks once again, ending his turn. Ghost sitting at perfect life. He'll now tribute the Clayfort Genius in order to summon the Ally of Justice Rudra with 100 extra attack points to its name, and if it were to ever battle a light monster, it'll boost itself up by 700 to 2600. For now though, it's sitting at just 19, leaving Leo dangerously below the safety line with only 950 life points to his name. He finally though goes into a monster, as Ghost was not able to capitalize on the drought, and he summons the Morphtronic Radion in attack mode with 1000 points. However, while Radion is in attack position, all of Leo's Morphtronic monsters gain 800, so Radion is actually at 19. And now that a Morphtronic is back on the field, the Bind activates once more, so Ghost cannot attack with his level 5 Rudra. Leo will set one more card and pass it back over to Ghost. He normal summons on his next turn the Ally of Justice 1000 Arms with 1700, and he passes there. Not a lot getting accomplished here. Leo will now normal summon the Morphtronic Magnet in attack mode. While in attack position, this 800 attack beat stick can only attack the monster with the highest attack on Ghost's side of the field. It's here though to get the power up from Radion to bring itself up to 16, and it was played in face up position so that next turn Leo can benefit from its defensive position effect if he can manage to keep it around. Ghost will normal summon the Ally of Justice Nullifier with 1600 attack points, but it is a level 4, so he still can't do anything. Leo switches Magnet to defense mode now, and its more useful effect is in play. While Magnet is in defense mode, other Morphtronic monsters cannot be selected as an attack target. If he can manage to find a way to keep Magnet around, this could be another defensive wall that Ghost will struggle to penetrate. For now though, it's just an 800 defense monster. Ghost sets a card and passes his turn yet again. Leo will now switch the Radion into defense mode so that its ability can provide all Morphtronics on his side of the field with 1000 defense, meaning that Radion sits at 19, and Morphtronic Magnet, who will be acting as a meat shield, is now brought up to 18 defense, significantly more respectable. Ending his turn now, Ghost gets to start things off with the summon of Ally of Justice Quarantine. With Quarantine on the field, neither player is allowed to special summon light monsters to any capacity. And he'll also activate the trap card Twin Vortex. By targeting a machine monster on his side of the field and one monster that the opponent controls, both creatures will be destroyed by the Vortex. So, Ghost targets the Ally of Justice 1000 Arms and the Morphtronic Magnet. But Leo has the counter trap, his other trap card from earlier in the duel, the Morphtronic Force Field. This allows him to negate any spell or trap that would destroy a Morphtronic and destroy that card instead. And after it resolves, he gets to add any Morphtronic monster spell or trap from his deck, so he grabs a second Morphtronic Magnet for himself so he can build up that lock. Going into Leo's turn now, with that Ghost has run out of options, we'll see Leo summon the Morphtronic Magnet in attack mode and then end his turn. hoping that next turn he can switch Magnet into defense mode and then prevent Ghost from attacking regardless of whether or not he has Bind activated, because the 2 Magnets will prevent all monsters from being capable of declaration. But Ghost drew the perfect out as he has the Dark Hole spell card, clearing all monsters on both sides of the field. And when a monster gets destroyed by a card effect, Ghost can activate Mech Lord Emperor Weisel from his hand to summon itself with 2,500 attack points. And since it's just a level 1 monster, it wouldn't matter if Leo had a Morphtronic on his side of the field, it would not have been kept down by Bind. Attacking directly, Ghost achieves a flawless victory in this first matchup. If this duel goes anything like the last round did, Leo is at an overwhelming disadvantage, and he needs to pray that his 50 card pile will not hold him back this turn, as at least in terms of drawing the cards that you need, Ghost has a significant advantage over him. Ghost taking the first turn here by Leo's request, he normal summons the Ally of Justice Quarantine to prevent Leo from special summoning any light monsters that he might have wanted to go into, namely the Ancient Fairy Dragon. And with 1700, it is definitely stronger than the majority of the Morphtronic lineup, so let's see what Leo has as Ghost sets a card and passes turn. Leo's gonna normal summon the Gadget Gamer to his side of the field, and on normal summon, he gets to add a level 1 machine from the deck to the hand. So, we're gonna see him attempt to grab something, but this will be met with the Twin Vortex Trap card to destroy both the Gadget Gamer and the Ally of Justice Quarantine, successfully resolving and clearing them from the field. Leo has no more normal summons he can use now, but he did grab his Morphtronic Cellphone for himself, so he can use its amazing ability later on in this duel. He sets 2 cards, and then by banishing the Morphtronic Telephone that was in his hand, he can special summon the Morphtronic Scannon, a level 6 tuner monster with 1500 attack points. While the Morphtronic Scannon is in attack mode, during the main phase, Leo can add any Morphtronic spell or trap from the deck to the hand as long as he places a card from his hand on top of the deck. And using this ability, we're going to see him grab his field spell card and that he will now activate, the Morphtronic Map. Every time a Morphtronic's battle position gets changed now, the Morphtronic Map will place a counter on itself, which will then provide all Morphtronic monsters with a 300 attack boost. And when the Morphtronic Map gets destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, he can special summon 1 Morphtronic monster from the grave, assuming he doesn't miss timing. Now for 1500, he gets to attack Ghost directly, and he has a much better board than anything he was able to assemble in the last round. Now on the other side of luck, as he is not able to get any monsters that he can put onto the field, so he has to pass his turn with just 2 cards to potentially protect him from whatever Leo has cooking for himself. Leo now gets to summon the Morphtronic Cellphone that he searched for earlier and activate Scannon's effect to this time grab the Morphtronic Force Field that was almost able to clutch out a turn of events for him last time. Now we'll see the Morphtronic Cellphone use its ability. While in attack position, Cellphone will roll a 6-sided die and allow Leo to excavate that number of cards from the top of his deck and summon any level 4 or lower Morphtronic amongst those cards, ignoring any of its summoning conditions, while the rest of the cards get shuffled back. And he rolled a 6. He did hit only 1 monster, it looks like, but it was a great one as it was the Morphtronic Smartphone, who normally could only be special summoned initially off of its own effect, but its summoning conditions have been negated. So here Leo has a level 1 tuner on the field who can also get into excavation shenanigans for himself. Because when Smartphone is in attack mode, it can also roll a 6-sided die, excavate 1 Morphtronic card from the top of the deck before shuffling the rest of the cards back in. And the Smartphone rolls a 5, take Leo to the casino now, goddammit, because he is on a hot streak as he manages to grab for himself the Morphtronic Scopin before setting a card and entering the battle phase. So Cellphone attacks for 100, Scannon for 15, and Smartphone for another 100, bringing Ghost nearly to the halfway point at 4800. He still has no monster to respond with, so he sets a card down and passes his turn, praying for the same sort of mercy that Leo had to pray in their first round. And I don't think he's going to be so fortunate because Leo here will normal summon his Morphtronic Scopin now, who in attack position can special summon a level 4 Morphtronic from the hand as long as it gets destroyed during the end phase. And as a level 3 tuner, you'd love to see nothing else than the level 4 Morphtronic Radion hit the field. Smartphone's gonna use its effect, and it rolls a 6 this time, letting Leo excavate 6 whole cards from the top of his deck, looking for a Morphtronic card, and he grabs the spell Morphtronic Converter for himself, entering the battle phase, not even needing it, however, because of the boost that Radion provides to all of the monsters on his field. So Sculpin gets to swing for 16, Radion swings for 18, and Scannon attacks for game. We're going into round 3 as Leo has redeemed himself. So far, we've seen a Mech Lord get summoned from Ghost, but we have not seen so much as a single Synchro monster on Leo's part, even though he has an extensive 13-card extra deck. Hopefully, we get to see something new in this round as Leo gets to go first this time. I would say a mistake on Ghost's part as he opened up with the Gadget Gamer, who Ghost will not be able to respond to since he didn't get the chance to lay down any traps to interrupt it this time. Gadget Gamer on normal summon will search a level 1 monster, so of course he searches the Morphtronic Cellphone once again. And we get to see Gadget Gamer's second effect this time around. By sacrificing itself, he gets to special summon a Morphtronic monster from the hand, and then special summon the Gadget Hauler from the hand or the deck. So, Morphtronic Cellphone hits the field now, and so does the level 6 Gadget Hauler, who can pitch Morphtronic monsters, by the way, from the hand in order to gain 800 attack for each, so it has some sort of OTK potential. Not a lot though, as it's just sitting at 1300, and Leo's probably not going to be using it for that. He's going to be going into the Machine Duplication instead to get out 2 more copies of the Morphtronic Cellphone from his deck. So now he has 3 opportunities to not only excavate his deck, but to summon a Morphtronic monster to generate massive amounts of card and field advantage. Here comes the first Cellphone, and the hot streak is clearly over on this brand new matchup because it rolls just a 2. He flips over a monster, however, getting incredibly lucky with that 2 roll, so here is the Morphtronic Telephone in defense mode, a level 1 tuner, mind you, who has her own excavation ability as well. While in defense mode, Morphtronic Telephone can roll a 6-sided die, excavate a number of cards from the top of the deck equal to the result that you rolled, and send one of those excavated Morphtronic cards to the graveyard while placing the rest in the top or the bottom of the deck in any order that you so choose. The perfect card to accompany the Morphtronic Cellphone and facilitate its 2 abilities coming up. It was a 1, unfortunately. Not a bad card though, and we see Leo decides to put it on top of his deck before using the Gadget Hauler and tuning it with the Morphtronic Telephone for the Power Tool Mecha Dragon, Leo's Manga Signer Dragon, with 2,500 defense points. If Power Tool Mecha Dragon gets a card equipped onto himself, he allows Leo to draw a card once per turn. Not a bad card to maybe generate some more advantage for him down the line. And he's going to be equipping the Power of the Guardians, which is why he left that spell card on the top of his deck, because now using Mecha Dragon's draw ability, he gets to draw that spell card for himself before using the next Morphtronic Cellphone, rolling a 4 this time, significantly better. And we see that he got another Morphtronic monster in that batch, so here comes the Morphtronic Magnon in defense mode with 800 points, preventing all the other monsters from being attacked. Now the final Morphtronic Cellphone activates its ability, and Leo rolls a 3, a respectable number, and he gets 2 Morphtronic monsters this time. He'll summon the Morphtronic Clock-In in defense mode with 1,100 defense points. While in defense mode, Leo can place a Morph counter on the Clock-In, and by tributing it, it can do 1,000 points of damage to Ghost for every counter that it had on the field. Clock-In will now put a Morph counter on itself before Leo finally ends his turn there. And don't even think that having more than 25 is enough to destroy the Mecha Dragon, because with the ability of Power of the Guardians, when the Mecha Dragon is involved in battle, Power of the Guardians will put a spell counter on itself, boosting the Power Tool Mecha Dragon by 500 points, and if it were to get destroyed, you can remove a spell counter from anywhere on his side of the field instead. So it has some sort of protection if it sees the battle phase. Ghost's turn now. He sets a card before activating Tuner's High once again, this time throwing out the level 4 Thousand Arms to summon the level 5 tuner Ally Mind from the deck with 1,800 attack to its name, bigger already than the majority of Leo's side of the field. And he'll also summon out the Ally of Justice Quarantine again, using Quarantine to destroy Morphtronic Magnon and then using Ally Mine to destroy one of the Cellphons instead of the more threatening Clock-In because of how much card advantage all of the Cellphons can generate for Leo. He is trying to stunt his combos before it's much too late to do anything about it. Ghost will now end his turn. Leo, starting his turn with 6,300, will activate the Trap Card Morphtronic Impact Return after he draws for his draw phase. Targeting up to 2 spell or trap cards that the opponent controls, Leo can now shuffle a Morphtronic monster from the hand into the deck and then shuffle those spell and trap targets back into Ghost's deck. So that gets rid of the only line of protection that he had back there in exchange for a card that Leo didn't necessarily need. And now he gets to put another morph counter onto his Clock-In before using the Cellphon again, who for the first roll on this turn lands a 4. So now we get to see 1, 2, 3, 4 duds. Very, very unfortunate for Leo that his luck is not where it needs to be, but he's not out of options yet because the Cellphon that just activated its ability will now get switched into defense mode. And in defense mode, Cellphon can also roll a 6-sided die in order to take a peek at that many cards on top of his deck before placing them back in the same order to help him decide if he should even bother wasting the other Morphtronic Cellphon's ability. And it looks like it was worth it, but his second Cellphon rolls a 1, and he was lucky enough to get a Morphtronic. Unfortunately, he was not lucky enough to get a level 4 or lower Morphtronic, so this was also a dud. However, Morphtronic Cellphon number 2 will go into defense mode, roll a 4 for itself, allowing Leo to take a look at his next 4 cards before activating the junk box that he drew into earlier off of the Mecha Dragon. Leo can special summon a level 4 or lower Morphtronic monster from the graveyard now, but it gets destroyed during the end phase, and we'll see the tuner monster, Morphtronic Telephon, hit the field in attack position. Now that it's in attack mode, he gets to roll a die, gain life points, and maybe even revive a Morphtronic from the graveyard, and he rolled a 6! So here comes Morphtronic Magnin back in defense mode to protect the rest of his field before we see Power Tool Braver Dragon, a level 9 with 2,500 attack points. While this doesn't look like it's stronger than what Leo already had on the field, Power Tool Braver Dragon has the ability to fetch equip spells from the graveyard and from the deck, latching up to 3 of them onto himself. So we have the power of the Guardians now to give him potential protection when he sees the battle phase. We have Central Shield to make sure that Leo will no longer take any battle damage or get attacked directly if you are not battling the Power Tool Braver Dragon. And we have Break, Draw, so that whenever the Power Tool Braver Dragon destroys a monster in battle, Leo can draw an additional card. During either player's main phase, Power Tool Braver Dragon can also ditch one of the equipped spells that's equipped onto him in order to negate the abilities of an effect monster on any player's side of the field and prevent it from changing its battle position, both until the end of the turn. Finally, moving into the battle phase, Power Tool Braver Dragon will swing over the Ally of Justice Quarantine, gaining a spell counter onto the Power of the Guardians, bringing him up to 3,000, bringing Ghost down to 67, and allowing him to draw a card, who he then can normal summon as he drew the Gadget Gamer. Gadget Gamer on normal summon will search the level 1 Smartphon, who will banish the Morphtronic Cellphon from the graveyard in order to summon itself, and Smartphon in attack mode will use its ability. This time, Leo rolls a 3. Excavating the top 3 cards of his deck, he's going to add a Telephon to his hand before tuning the Gadget Gamer for the level 4 Synchro Monster Morphtronic Earphon in attack mode with 1,200. And Earphon will activate its ability, allowing itself to become an equipped spell for the Power Tool Braver Dragon, granting it the ability to declare up to 2 attacks on monsters during each and every battle phase. Now with 4 equipped cards to its name, meaning 4 different opportunities to negate monster effects, Leo ends his turn in a powerful position over Ghost. Ghost normal summons the Ally of Justice Garaldhog for his next turn with 1,600, swinging over the Magnin so that he can use Ally Mine to destroy the final Cellphon on the field and end his turn. Not a single spell or trap to be found anywhere. Leo's not done with the advantage game though, because he banishes the Morphtronic Impact Return trap card from the graveyard to activate its effect once more. Targeting a Morphtronic monster that's banished or in the grave, he gets to summon that creature in defense mode to his side of the field. So here comes the Morphtronic Cellphon for the 4th time, and the clocking will put a 3rd morph counter on top of itself. We'll also see the Morphtronic Telephon hit the field now. Using its ability, it rolls a 1, so he gains 100 life points, but thankfully, he has another level 1 Morphtronic Telephon in the graveyard that he can revive with the Telephon's effect. Telephon number 2 rolls a 3, so he has now gained 400 life points, and here comes Magnin for a 3rd time now. Cellphon uses his effect, and Leo gets to see that his top card is going to be a machine duplication before using a Telephon and a Cellphon for the Formula Synchron, a level 2 tuner synchro monster, who once per turn allows Leo to draw a card. So he does before tuning that with the Magnin for the level 5 Crystron Amatrix with 2,500 attack points. He uses the Power Tool Graver Dragon, declaring an attack on the Garaldhog, boosting itself up with the power of the Guardians again for 1,900 damage, and he breaks, so he draws. Now he attacks the ally Mind with the Power Tool Braver since Earphon gives him a 2nd attack, and he breaks, so he draws. Crystron Amatrix gets to attack directly, bringing Ghost down to exactly 100 life points, which is, funny enough, the exact amount of attack points on Morphtronic Telephon. So by attacking directly with Telephon, Leo has won the duel.